Welcome to this channel, Tech Explained by a Real Expert. I'm a software engineer with nearly 20 years of experience, here to make tech simple and accessible for everyone. From expert insights and honest reviews to practical tutorials and the latest tech news, it's all right here. Subscribe for smart, reliable tech content. Like the videos to show support. Comment to share your thoughts or request future topics. Let's build a strong, informed tech community together.
But what is satellite? A satellite is any object that orbits another object in space. It can be natural, like the moon orbiting Earth, or artificial, which means man-made and launched into space. Artificial satellites are machines placed in orbit around Earth or other planets to perform tasks such as communication, weather monitoring, navigation, scientific research, and military use. They stay in orbit by balancing the pull of gravity with their forward speed, allowing them to continuously circle the planet without falling back down. Satellites are essential tools that help us in daily life and scientific discovery. Why do we use satellites? We use satellites to help us communicate across the world, TV, phone, internet, monitor weather and natural disasters, navigate with GPS, study Earth and space, support military and scientific missions. Satellites are like robotic helpers in space. They orbit Earth or other planets and send back valuable information. Summary of what we'll cover. 1. What is a satellite? 2. A brief history of satellite development. 3. How satellites work. Physics mechanics. 4. What are satellites made of? 5. Types of satellites. 6. How we launch and control satellites. 7. Conclusion. Why they matter today and in the future. 1. What is a satellite? A satellite is any object that orbits, goes around, another object in space. There are 2 types. Natural satellites, like the moon orbiting Earth. Artificial satellites, man-made machines launched into space to orbit Earth or other planets. They stay in orbit due to a balance between gravity pulling them toward Earth and their forward speed trying to fly them away like a rock swung on a string. 2. A brief history of satellite development. Early ideas, pre-1900s, people like Isaac Newton imagined objects could orbit Earth if launched fast enough. He used the cannonball thought experiment. If you shoot a cannonball fast enough, it will fall around Earth instead of hitting it that's orbiting. Rocket Science Foundations, 1900s, Konstantin Tsiolkovsky, Russia, 1903. First proposed rockets could reach space. Robert Goddard, USA, 1926, built the first liquid-fueled rocket. Werner von Braun, Germany, USA, developed V-2 rockets, key figure in rocket tech during and after World War II. The space race, 1950s-1970s, 1957. Sputnik 1, USSR, the first artificial satellite ever launched. It was a beeping metal sphere that orbited Earth. 1958. Explorer 1, USA, first American satellite. It discovered the Van Allen radiation belts. 1960s-70s, satellites for communication, Telstar, weather, TIROS, GPS, and spying, military. Modern era, 1980s today, satellites became smaller, cheaper, smarter. Now we have thousands of them, for mobile phones, Google Maps, climate monitoring, and even internet from space, like Starlink. 3. How do satellites work? Simple physics. How they stay in orbit. Satellites stay up by balancing gravity and motion. Earth's gravity pulls the satellite down. Its speed, momentum, wants to keep it moving forward. The result, it keeps falling around the Earth orbiting. This is called centripetal force. Gravity acts as the force pulling the satellite inward. The physics equation. The key equation, centripetal force, gravitational force, mv squared over r, equals gmm over r squared, or more fully, m times versus squared divided by r equals g times m divided by r squared, where m is the mass of the satellite, v squared means velocity squared, r is the radius, distance from Earth's center, g is the gravitational constant, m is the mass of the Earth. It's basically why satellites don't fall. They are falling but sideways so fast that the Earth curves away beneath them at the same rate. 4. What are satellites made of? Main components. 1. Structure, bus body, the frame that holds everything. 2. Power system, usually solar panels, batteries. 3. Thermal control to survive space heat and cold. 4. Communication system, antennas to send-receive data. 5. Propulsion system, small thrusters to adjust position. 6. Payload, the main purpose device, camera, sensor, transponder, etc. 7. Computer brains controls everything and follows commands from Earth. Materials must be light, strong, and resistant to radiation and temperature changes. 5. Types of satellites. Communication satellites are used to transmit television signals, internet data, and telephone conversations across the globe. They are typically placed in high or geostationary orbits to maintain constant communication with the same area of Earth. Weather satellites are designed to monitor cloud patterns, storms, and atmospheric changes. They provide critical information for forecasting weather, tracking hurricanes, and studying climate change. Navigation satellites, such as those in the GPS system, allow receivers on Earth to calculate their exact location and time. These satellites constantly broadcast signals that are picked up by devices like smartphones and car GPS units. Earth observation satellites are used to study the Earth's surface, oceans, and atmosphere. They help monitor deforestation, agriculture, urban development, pollution, and natural disasters like earthquakes or floods. Scientific satellites carry instruments to study space phenomena like cosmic rays, black holes, or the cosmic microwave background. Telescopes like the Hubble Space Telescope orbit above the atmosphere to get clearer views of the universe. Military satellites are used by governments for surveillance, reconnaissance, and secure communication. They can take high-resolution images, intercept signals, and detect missile launches. CubeSats are small, cube-shaped satellites often built by universities or startups. Despite their tiny size, they can perform meaningful scientific experiments, technology tests, and educational missions at a lower cost. 4. Deep dive into satellite component structure, bus body. This is the physical framework or skeleton of the satellite. It holds all other parts together and provides protection during launch and space travel. The structure must be strong enough to endure the force of launch, vibration, pressure, and acceleration, yet light enough to reduce launch costs. It's made of lightweight metals like aluminum, titanium, or composite materials that can withstand radiation and extreme temperatures in space. Power system. Most satellites are powered by solar energy. Large solar panels are attached to the satellite's sides and oriented to face the sun. They convert sunlight into electricity, which powers all onboard systems. Excess electricity is stored in rechargeable batteries, which are used when the satellite passes into the Earth's shadow, night side, and solar energy is temporarily unavailable. Some specialized satellites use nuclear power, but this is rare and mostly limited to deep space missions. Thermal control system. Space is an extreme environment, with temperatures varying from extremely hot in direct sunlight to freezing cold in the shadow. The thermal control system keeps all satellite components within safe temperature ranges. This system includes insulation materials like multi-layer blankets, MLI, heat pipes to move heat around, radiators to release excess heat, and sometimes even heaters for sensitive electronics. It prevents overheating from the sun and freezing when out of sunlight. Communication system. Satellites use antennas and radio transmitters to communicate with ground stations on Earth. They receive commands from Earth and send back data they collect. This system includes high-gain antennas for focused, long-distance communication and low-gain antennas for broader, short-range signals. Different frequencies are used depending on the purpose, such as UHF, S-band, or Ka-band. Data is transmitted using radio waves because they can travel long distances through the vacuum of space. Propulsion system. Satellites need small engines or thrusters to change or maintain their position in orbit. These are not used to keep the satellite in orbit. That's done by gravity and speed, but to adjust orientation, correct drift, or move to a different orbit. Most systems use chemical propellants, such as hydrazine, or electric propulsion like ion thrusters, which expel ions at high speed. These adjustments are crucial for satellite longevity and performance, especially for communication or geostationary satellites. Payload. This is the part of the satellite that performs its main mission. In a communication satellite, the payload consists of transponders that receive, amplify, and retransmit signals. In a weather satellite, it may include cameras and infrared sensors. A scientific satellite might have telescopes, spectrometers, or particle detectors. The payload is the reason the satellite exists. Everything else supports its function. Computer brains. Onboard computer system. The satellite's computer system acts as its brain. It controls all operations, processes commands from Earth, and runs onboard programs. It monitors the health of the satellite, manages data collection, controls orientation and propulsion, and handles emergency procedures. These systems are radiation hardened to survive the harsh space environment and often have redundancy, meaning multiple backups in case of failure. The software is tailored to the satellite's mission and is often updated remotely from Earth. 6. How we launch and control satellites. How satellites are launched. Rockets carry them into space. Once at target altitude, the satellite separates and starts operating. How their controlled ground stations on Earth send signals. The satellite sends data back, telemetry. Some satellites are autonomous, others require commands. Orbit types. LEO, low Earth orbit, 3,002,000 kilometers. Used for Earth observation and Starlink. MEO, medium Earth orbit, GPS satellites. GEO, geostationary orbit, 35,786 kilometers. Used for TV, weather, appears fixed in the sky. 7. Conclusion. Why satellites matter. Satellites have become essential to modern life. We rely on them for global communication, precise navigation, planes, ships, cars, understanding our planet and beyond, emergency response, disaster tracking. The future? Mega constellations, like Starlink, may connect the whole world. Deep space satellites will explore planets and distant stars. Nano and microsatellites make access to space cheaper and easier. TLDR, rough understanding for a beginner. A satellite is a man-made machine that orbits Earth or other planets for communication, navigation, weather, or science. First launched in 1957, satellites work by balancing Earth's gravity with forward speed. They're built with solar panels, antennas, sensors, and a control system, and launched into orbit by rockets. Today, satellites power our phones, GPS, weather reports, internet, and much more.
Thanks for watching. I really appreciate you taking the time to check out my video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more content. Your support means the world to me and helps the channel grow. Stay tuned for more videos, and let me know in the comments what you'd like to see next. See you in the next one.